Hey folks, it's Babbaginator. We're here in the Long Dark, currently hanging out, waiting for a few more things to cure. But we are about ready to flee, get out of this place, do something new. Let's see. Stuff is so close. Time is it? Maybe we will time sleep. Or is there anything we can read? Let's see what we got. This we don't need. It's extra weight. This. I think this is no longer useful for us, so that's
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
I wanted a little bit of metal scrap, but I don't want to... Yeah, I don't know. I think we grab what we can and just go. Okay. Actually, I think what we do might actually pop up to
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
this stone church here for a second and check on that. Because you never know, there might be a, oh actually, you know what? We've got that now, we've got, no, we don't have anything to fix that.
My fingers feel numb.
Joker's wild. We do have jokers in the deck, and I haven't decided what they mean. So if we ever do draw one, we'll have to figure out what the Joker means for this challenge. I don't know if you saw, but LD, Long Dark Forever, posted that he wants to do another run of the All Your Bases challenge, which I absolutely love. That's actually my first challenge,
Too cold.
my first tournament in TLD was that. And I'm kind of curious what twist he ends up putting on it. Because we'll have like misery mode, right? So I don't know if they're going to leave it. If you remember the original version of it, it all takes place in Pilgrim. But the requirements get steeper on the difficulty. Like if you are traditionally an interloper player, there's a different set of challenge, quantities you have to accomplish, and then ultimately you still have to decorate your base. So now that we have the ability to actually modify our bases, this is going to be really interesting. And I have not played at all with the that particular aspect of things yet either. So I think it's going to be fun to see how that plays out. Okay, we're going to warm up our teas here and get some new torches going.
I could eat a horse. I'd stand a lot because I love horses.
Oh, in other news, I got confirmation today that the opera workshop is going to continue in Los Angeles in February. So I will be going to LA in February, towards the end of February, just for a few days, just like a Friday, Saturday, and then return on Sunday. But I'm excited, a little bit nervous, a little certain I'm going to feel a lot of shock about what I see when I get there. We are not going to be in the fire zone or the fire aftermath. It will be like really in the concrete heart of Koreatown in mid-Wilshire, so it's not really anywhere close. But it will be, when we fly in, we will definitely see. Yeah, I do want to, I don't know, top my record. It's really hard to beat the, it wasn't that I won or came anywhere close to placing in that challenge. It was that I finished the challenge against impossible odds. And I think I'm a much better player now, so I am looking forward to trying my luck and seeing how much better a player I am at doing some of those challenges, like the hunting part of it. Now, I think like I also, by the end of that challenge, became very, very good at some really impossible shots that I kind of want to get back to and be able to do again. Like I was hitting wolves at really far distances. So yeah, it's something to play around with. We have no problem with matches. Look at this. No problem with matches. Do we need to keep our hammer? Probably not. Oh, we're almost out of water too. Okay. But that ending, that's actually one of the things that's archived on the YouTube channel is the entire all your bases run. If anyone ever wants to relive that, because to me there were some really awesome moments in that run. I wish I could say every challenge has had like the same type of epic moments, but no, some challenges have been rather disappointing. So it's nice to get a really epic, few moments, especially the last. I think the last two streams were like outstanding in terms of content. Just really, really unbelievable like went from like thinking it would be impossible to even finish to then like somehow miraculously in the last 5 days turning it completely around, and in the last like few hours being able to complete the challenge, you know.
I could eat anything right now.
Okay, so we are very conveniently done with all we needed to do here. Oh, we're super heavy now. Why are we so heavy? 52. Hear the bunnies hopping around. Throw this over here. It sucks. Now we're super heavy. Oh, we got so much stuff. I think we dropped the hammer. There's just really no need to take it anymore because we got 26 arrowheads. That's more than enough for what we want to do. If we need another hammer, we'll just find another hammer. Okay, we're just going to leave our hammer here. Too much weight, not needed. Go to hatchet now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the All Your Bases tournament, but I am also a little concerned because it may, depending on when they start, it may run into the time when I'm actually going to be away. So,
Gotta warm up somehow.
but then again, the challenge really is, you know, it's a speed challenge, so. Oh, we could have harvested more, but we don't need to.
God, yeah. Freezing.
Okay, so I think our goal is then to get out of this region, go to Crumbling Highway, we'll draw another card, see what we need to do. Ooh, Wheel of Possibility. What would be on the wheel? Would it be just the same type of things, or would it be like some other like silliness? Hey Rootbeard, good to see you. We are extracting ourselves from Desolation Point since we've met all requirements and we even have ourselves a bedroll and we forge, so we are looking good. Just have to wait and see what's on the other side here. So let's see, last time I streamed would have been Saturday, I think. So let's see, Sunday night was my online D&D game. It was kickoff for a new campaign in which all the players played elderly retired adventurers who for various reasons have found themselves no longer welcome, or no longer welcome at their retirement home, or have been compelled to leave for some other reason, i.e. like something left undone that they had to go back to do. And so it's kind of fun because they all used to be fantastic adventures, but they've forgotten almost everything, and they start level 3, and there's yeah. So anyway, start off very simply. They were just like at the gates of their old retirement community, and sadly turning down the road, heading down the hill, but then they find themselves pulled away from the road when they discover one of the delivery people. His wagon has been ambushed, and then they find an overturned wagon with bloodstains on the ground and drag marks. The bodies have been pulled away, apparently by wolves controlled by a very large wolf, based on the tracks. But there's also evidence that the wagon itself had come under fire from probably bandits, arrows and bolts all the way back into the wagon. So they proceed to try to track down the wolves and see if they can recover the bodies, and figure out why the wolves are dragging bodies in the first place instead of just eating them on the spot. So that leads to a little mystery and some intrigue. And plot twist, there is a mysterious figure in the back of the wolf den that seems to control them and casts, perhaps some sort of low-level necromancer who, okay, let's see what we got here. Low-level necromancer who, right when one of them gets into the cave, the necromancer casts a spell, an unusual spell, one they've never seen before, and a gigantic furball fills up the entire front of the cave, blocking entrance from anyone else and trapping their barbarian on the inside with a number of wolves. And when one of the party members tries to set fire to the furball to get rid of it, it turns out that the furball is highly flammable and leads to a half damage fireball. So instead of an 8d6, it's 4d6, but which, because they're third level characters, is pretty severe. Yeah, a really large one, really. So, it's not alive though. It's just a furball. It's just very large, fireball-sized furball, basically. It's an ongoing joke about a particular NPC in my campaign world who's a fence who sells very, very, very off-market and deeply flawed, sometimes cursed items. Usually because there's some sort of, it seems like there's some sort of magic factory out there that's producing knockoff and misprint goods. So they always end up with, like, instead of wand of fireball, they get a wand of furball. So that's where it originated. But yeah, the furball turned out to be very effective. Yeah, it wasn't TPK, but there were a couple people that went down. It had some close brushes with the afterlife before being pulled back. All in all, good challenge, good fun. And of course, the necromancer slips away while they're distracted dealing with the wolves. So now they have someone to hate. One, a furball. Furball. Also would have been a good alternate spell. But I think furball is more entertaining. Yeah, other things I think I might add to that campaign, among other knockoff and cursed items, would be a potion of feeling. Yes, you too can drink a potion of feeling and not be healed, but instead be overcome by vibes. You're feeling a little
Think about it.
verklempt. Yeah. Little overwhelmed. Okay. Yeah, that would also work. Let's see here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to put down everything that's already done, and everything that needs to be cured. Just lay it all out here. Actually, I think we need 2 of those. Maybe we'll keep the cured ones for now. I think what we'll do is we'll put down the uncured ones, right? There's so many of these. Okay, we'll leave it like that. We'll take all the cured stuff and we'll leave that one for now. We will be back here to do some work, I think. Maybe we could do the work now. Okay, let's see what we got here. We can make a survival bow. We can make some arrow shafts. Maybe we should start working on the bow. Oh, but I think we need to find out for certain how long we've got, so, or what's the situation. So let's quickly dash out and find out what the situation is and come back, because we're counting this as part of the Crumbling Highway area. And one of the reasons why I do want to get some crafting done is because it will reduce the amount of stuff we're carrying. Okay, let's find out what we got here. So,
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Friends, we are about to draw the card of destiny. So we are shuffling the cards. We're going to see what we get out of this deck. One shuffle, second riffle, third riffle, cut 3 ways and restack, and then do some loose shuffle, and then we will draw a card. 9 of diamonds. We're here for 9 days. Painful. That's really painful. Okay, how are we going to make that work? Well, we definitely have to finish day 26, CRH 9. That's painful.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Isn't that wild? 9 days we're gonna be here. That's almost worse than roll with it. 9 days.
My stomach feels like an empty pit.
It's gonna be a lot of beachcombing. I mean, we'll kill some wolves too, but we can't really live off the wolves at this point. Can we? Cooking is at 4. Okay. Well, we're not going to get to cooking 5, even if we cook all the teas in the world. Not with teas.
Yeah.
9 days. Oh yeah, we need to update. Oops. Put ourselves back on here. Sorry about that. You guys staring at my face instead of watching the actual action here. I was still in shock, basically, was what happened. Still thinking, how are we getting out of this mess? 9 days. Do we have even enough food for that? I don't think we do. I think, maybe. Okay, let's begin with the obvious thing that we need to do. Work on that. Oh no, cabin fever risk, of course. Will it let us keep working? Nope. Okay, stuff we don't need to carry with us. Probably reduce the amount of cloth that we're carrying with us. Blackberry citrus seltzer. Welcome in. Hey, welcome in, folks. Let's see. Let's do a shout out for Blackberry. See what you've been up to.
So get out of here, Jensen.
Bunker hunt. Ah, okay. Let's see here. We'll let your clip run out and then we'll be back in. Yeah, so here's a little bit about me. and we're doing a challenge. I really need to update the challenge so it explains it a little bit better, but we're doing a challenge called Luck of the Draw. Basically, every time we enter a region or we spawn in a new region, we pull from a deck of cards, and the card tells us the nature of the challenge for that particular region. So if we draw a 7 of hearts, that would mean we have to harvest 7 kilos of meat. We can't bring that in. We have to find new meat. If we get as we did when we entered Crumbling Highway, a 9 of diamonds, we have to stay there for 9 days. You know, at least 9 days. So you could stay longer if you wish, but you have to stay at least 9 days. If you get a 4 of clubs, that's 4 harvested hides or guts, or found if you're super, super lucky. And then spades would be, if you have like a 6 of spades, that's 6 kilos of boiled water. That's the easiest one to do, especially once you have the big pot, right? So we just, we went to Desolation Point, we forged, we boiled our water, and we found a bedroll. So we are totally fine, except for now in Crumbling Highway, which is just a really small zone. We have 9 days, which is not good. And we just have cabin fever risk, so that's going to be fun too. So we are booking it out of here so that we can spend the night in the cave. We are halfway through crafting our bow, and we still need to craft some arrows. But we forged everything. It's good. So, if you like kind of wacky challenges, especially ones with random elements, I'm your person for that. I like making new challenges. Yeah, the roll with it one is probably my favorite challenge, and it is hard. Really hard. It took me 30 attempts to beat it. Yeah, roll with it, you visit every region in the game, and every time you enter the region, you roll a die, and it tells you how many days you have to stay. You can stay no fewer and no longer. You have to leave exactly on that day. So regardless of weather situation, regardless of the fact you just killed a bear and wanted to harvest and eat the whole thing, nah. You're out of luck. You're moving on. So roll with it taught me a lot. I got to spend 20 days in places that I ordinarily would not spend one. Oh, if you really want something kind of different too, you want to really mix things up. I also wrote a custom settings random generator for custom runs, and this will probably change when they do the next update and redo all the custom settings, but for now it's possible to use that to generate. Ooh, it's still in condition, but we're going to sleep in a cave. Yeah. As you might guess, I have a background in programming, but I also have a background in creative writing. So I work, and currently I'm back in school doing a master's in library and information science. So basically, I kind of do everything. Oop, what do we got here? I see you, buddy. No, I don't. You're coming, though. There you are. Go away. Roller wants a poem. Okay, so this is one of the, I don't know, perks, benefits, things that we do on our channel is I read poetry, and you want something random from the Babbage book. Okay, we can do that. So I'm the author of 2 books of poetry. One of them is Babbage's Dream, which was published in 2017 by Sundress Publications, and revolves around the history of computers, the life of 19th century mathematician and computer pioneer Charles Babbage, modern programming spaces, and programming languages and artificial intelligence. So, you know, if I had published that in 2020 or 2021, it would probably have had like a huge heyday, but I published early, just like my dissertation for my PhD. Subject matter ahead of its time. Oh well. Hello, buddy. Okay, let's set up a fire here and then switch over and read a poem. Okay, let us read a poem. We could just get this fire going here. Don't go out on us. Okay. Reading a poem as requested by Roller. Let's see, we'll pull up our random poem chooser. Include. Does that work? That's not, well, actually it does, no, that's from the Babbage book, but it's not a directly Babbage poem. Is that fair? Do you want that? Or do you want something more Babbage? Okay, we'll do it. Include is on page 39. Okay. I'll pull out my reading glasses because, yay, my eyes at night. Yeah. Include a directive to the compiler to insert the contents of an external file or code library at this location. Call and will appear, a strange assembly of characters gathered in the library space, like ghosts, or around a makeshift table formed of a door, a sawhorse, or two volume cabinets laid prone on the floor, each of us in a class of our own, our names and histories kept to ourselves, as if to preserve a little corner away from the stern gaze of those who plod the aisles, worrying their ways back to distant desks in offices with views of the city we scarcely know. Our lives spent instead engaged in the work of the mind, transcribing one logic into another. We are refugees of sorts, castaways who wash up unexpectedly on the same shore, our new world nothing more than the cobbling together of the remains of others, warehouses filled with empty bookcases, stained whiteboards, vending machines, the dull hum of the air conditioning fans whirring their lullabies overhead. All around us cast-off machines, broken keyboards and mice, a cornucopia of wires and the low, swinging bulbs that in the dark seem to form a constellation of tiny, nameless stars. How they hang there above our heads, faltering, holding on, everything waiting for some final revelation to make itself useful, to give itself a place to go after the power goes out, after there's nothing left to burn within. In the halls, marshaled in a gallery of the disconnected and unstable, every heart that we pass is as inextinguishable and unknowable as our own. Okay, so Include really is a reference back to when I used to work as a computer games programmer, and the company I worked for, Knowledge Venture, did educational games. At the time, it had very much of a startup feel, even though they'd been around for a number of years. And we worked out of an old warehouse. There's actually, an old warehouse in Glendale, California. And there's a funny story about the location as well, but we'll get there. But basically, an old warehouse, and back then, we didn't have cubicles. They just kind of threw together some bookcases to kind of frame out different workspaces. And then they would have these old filing cabinets, and they'd slap an old door on top of it. And they said, "That's your desk." And then just like big, vacuous space with these distant lights overhead, and then all the hallways were just filled with cast off junk. And it was just this weirdly surreal space to work in. And so we did kind of feel like we were just refugees washing up on some shore with all this debris. And, all about us, everything is just on the verge of breaking down, if not broken down already, while we are like huddled together in our spaces trying to crank out code, trying to do these things on a budget. And so the poem kind of references the fact that, in that desperation to try to get things to work and to try to get our own lives to work, we're like the bulbs flickering, we're just barely holding on. And yet somehow, something within us is still inextinguishable and unknowable. It's like we pass each other, and it's like there's a brilliance, and yet also there's like something deeply unknowable about each other as we move through the space. Anyways, include. So it's a poem that, in one reference is like trying to include in sort of that library of programmers of all these people and the world that we inhabit. And at the same time, it's trying to say, like, we all fit in here, even as strange as we individually might be. We so all found ourselves somewhere in this space. And the kind of the funny, not so funny thing is that for all the struggles of being in that smaller company space, when we were eventually bought out and then bought out again, and then combined together with another company and moved into like this big fancy, building on the edge of LA, or edge of LAX, like in the Howard Hughes area, in El Segundo, was it Culver City? I think we're in Culver City. And it was, fancy building, fancy floors, fancy, like the workspace, the multiple floors we were on had been previously occupied by a .com company. This shows how old I am. By a .com company that when they spent all their money on furnishing, and then they went bust. And so we basically ended up with a floor full of like $900 to $1,000 chairs, the super comfy office chairs. Yeah, and that was the space we ended up in. But all that, we felt more disconnected than ever than the small company space that we were in that warehouse, where you had nothing and yet you were struggling together. It felt more tight knit than in the big company, which felt very distant and very isolating. So yeah, it's interesting. All that money does not actually facilitate a stronger sense of community. And instead, it actually sometimes just drives people further apart. So, okay, so we are back. That's our little poetry break for now. Other things you can always ask for, you can see like it brings up, you can always ask me to read a poem. You can ask me to prose before wolves, which basically means I read something either from fiction that I've written, nonfiction that I've written, or lyric essay. So basically more like an essay that's written as an exploration or investigation that's not necessarily an academic essay. And then if you're really hardcore, you can get me to read from my dissertation, which was on 19th century artificial intelligence, thinking machines, mechanical minds, and the Victorian detective. And so weirdly enough, people like hearing from that. So like I do end up I've read through it maybe about 4 or 5 times now, which is remarkable to me because as an academic, no one ever wants to hear about your dissertation, right? So it's just like, and yet here we are. Okay. Let us see what we got here. But yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for the request. We have all these extra cans. We do not need all these extra cans. Say goodbye to my little cans. 2 cans. Yeah, Roller likes to hear about the dissertation. I do feel like I should sit down and do more writing in the near future, but I'm also juggling the fact that I have to finish up coursework, and I've got work as well. So, you know what? The first thing we should have made was we should have made line and then made a new fishing tackle so we could finish mending stuff. But 2020 hindsight.
I am not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay, well, we'll prepare more water here. Why are these all different sizes? I dropped one. Weird. Usually it gives me a 1 liter bottle, not two 50-liter bottles. What's going on there? Oh, two half-liter bottles. That's what I'm saying. Okay, we do need to make some forge.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Yeah, I don't really get this. Okay. Let's eat all the worst stuff first. Don't die, don't die. Okay. Forgot to check what day it was, so... Okay, take care, Blackberry. Thanks for dropping in and bringing your friends in the raid and for the follow. Good luck, and we'll see you around. I think I'll do the same thing. I will give you a follow. Okay. So I think technically we're starting not on 26 but on 27. So we finish up then We should finish up day 30. It's so far away. It feels so far away. 9 of diamonds. Why did we pull such a large number? Oh, wait a sec, not day 38. Sorry, I can't do math. 36. There we go. 36. That feels a little bit more doable, but still a long ways away. Okay, hopefully we are warm back here. Yeah. Try to do 7 hours. Okay, how are we doing? No more cabin fever risk. Yeah, food's going to be definitely an issue.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Complaining a lot there, Astrid. Okay, our goals for today: finish crafting the bow, craft some arrows, and kill a wolf or two. Oh, there you are. Uh-oh. Stupid wolf. He's gonna bother us, isn't he?
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
It's actually really cold. Is it gonna come? Ugh.
Come on, little fire.
Like, if we're out of sight, is he gonna leave us
Feel
alone?
numb? This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Okay, I'm hoping that the wolf is gone now. Okay, let's go up there. He's still out there. Do we wait it? Do we wait it out, or do we try another hour? Well, he's not going away, is he? Okay. Desperate times, desperate measures.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Gotta do what you gotta do, right? If it comes for me, we'll have to use this flare.
I can't feel my hands.
Go away, buddy. Go away.
Wait.
Oh, hopefully we reset the cabin fever risk and we can finish the bow, finish some arrows, and then turn this thing around.
I'm not gonna be able to get.
Yep, didn't last. This might be a terrible idea, but it'll at least get us the metal we need to fix our saw.
Wheat trees? dying from starvation.
Okay, off we go. I think our plan here is to, as tempting as it would be to finish the bow first, I think what we want to do is finish the, make some fishing tackle so we can actually repair our clothes. And then that will make us warmer, which will make it easier to stay in the cave. Okay, so quick check, we have hook, we just need line. Let's see what we need here. Okay, so we currently have 2 extra saplings and 1 extra gut, is that right? We just need the line. Okay, we can go back to work on this. Okay, no progress. I think we have to eat one of our boxes. Okay. Oh, we have so much repairing to do.
Man, I could eat any.
Okay. Find our way back to our... So we can actually make more... Let's see, the guts are cured. These are not quite done.
I am so hungry.
Okay. Okay, so how are we sitting right now? We got 9 shafts, 23 arrowheads. We have a fully functioning bow. Gotta find the drawer again. Okay, and let's see, let's go back and craft more. Where are we at now? We are now at archery 2. Cooking is at 4. Okay, we've made as many bows as we, many arrows as we can. Let's check on our situation here. Pick this up. These are cured. We can make another bow next time. Just make certain we have firewood. Oh. lots of
pack is getting too
firewood.
heavy to carry.
Need to make water. Anything down here we missed? It'd be really nice to get some more coal, but I don't think we're going to get any more coal here. We're out of water too.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
What was that? It sounded like everything collapsed. Oh, it did. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's get this fire started. Pick up some more porridge. Buy ourselves a little bit more time. Oh, 9 days here is such a long stretch.
Perfect. I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay, let's see. Let's do some repairs now. Clothing. Yeah, everything's beaten up.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Oops. Well, let's hope we don't freeze to death. Oh, we made it. Okay. How much cloth do we have? 8 pieces left. Say our next priority is this thing that blocks the wind, and that would be very useful. And do our best to repair anything that's on the verge being more decayed.
Oh, I'm starving.
This one's the last one we have to repair. Okay, we're at 15. Better.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Okay, we're good. Weather's perfect. Time to hunt some wolves. Oh, there's bunnies here.
Come on, little fire. I need anything right about now.
That's right. Yeah, too slow. Forgot. Can't crouch here. I'm better off throwing rocks at them. Except I like shooting. Missed. Oh well. Nice try. Oh, interesting. The fat is still here. Okay, well, let's go looking for something with more meat on it. Maybe we'll get lucky and find something beachcombing. What do we leave here? Anything? More fat. Oh, there's something out there. And there's our beachcombing line.
I think I can use this.
Hmm. Close. That was close. I guess we'll go this direction. Oh, what do we have over here?
Okay, weak.
Yeah, you say that a lot, Astrid. Is that a backpack? Looks like a backpack. Cannot get close enough. Well, it's not food. This, on the other hand, looks like food. Hoping it's fish. Sticks, fish. We don't need more saplings. That could have been bad. So we got fish. And with this fish, we probably should get a wolf showing up soon. Okay, this feels like a safe spot to cook the fish. Hopefully that'll reduce the stench a little bit, and we'll see what happens next.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Well, that's not much, is it? Okay, move along, move along.
This pack is getting too heavy to carry.
Oh, that was terrible. Need to be able to use our bow, so we have to have working wrists. Okay.
I can barely walk with this much gear.
Yep. Let's go on. Have to make another one.
I'm not going to be able to carry this load for much longer.
Okay, so got 10 torches. Okay, so we'll probably wrap up here soon. Stuff we need to do still eat. We need to kill more rabbits, I think, is where we're at.
I need to find food.
Oh, we can't do any repairs anyways. Not until we replace our fishing tackle, so I guess that's our first order of business. Go back down in there, check and see how things are curing. Oh, new coal. Okay, our choices are, I think we have to do this.
Damn it. I'm so hungry.
Hook. What do we got here? We have line. Do we have a hook? Guess we don't have a hook. Okay, yeah, we'll head back to the entrance. We will save by re-entering the cave and we'll update our time.
much more.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna wrap up here too. So let's see, we are currently at day 30, which means we have 6 days left. Try that again. Please re-enter. So we're on day 30. We'll just read one more poem tonight to wrap up. Let's see what we get here. Letter 10. Do we want to read something from there? Maybe we'll read a different one from that same series. Or something else. Or we just randomly select again. Try something else. Okay, we're going to try something else. Okay, that feels fair. Searching my father's books. Okay, so this comes from a set of poems that probably go into the third manuscript, which is not finished. It's kind of all in pieces right now, and I need to get back to it. But this is one of the poems that was published. This one in Valparaiso Poetry Review back in 2021. Searching my father's books. I find he has traveled lightly, covered much ground, but left no more than the sparest of lines. Scribbled note cribbed from professors past, their stories also ended, the road carrying on. More than wild beasts he leaves a faint trail, a mark here, a path blazed among the trees, his passing almost invisible. What meaning he spies, sleeping in between the inked wake of others. He is largely left undisturbed, reveals nothing of Macbeth's soul, Hamlet's fear, even what he writes of the great white whale, but cryptic signs, half-phrases, everything buried in the pale depths of what remains unsaid. Why have I held on to these talismans, bound tokens of our shared love of the written word? What literature does, what it holds silent between lines and the margins scarcely seen, the faint trace of another mind before mine, imperfect, grasping, and yet none the less pressing on, into the deep forest, the life half journeyed, the river half forded, and still everywhere abounding in ghosts. So this poem takes its inspiration from, in fact, my father passed away back in 2007 after a very rapid decline from ALS, from Lou Gehrig's disease. And he had been a librarian and a professional genealogist and an educator. And much of my love of writing and of literature and of reading in general and libraries, even the fact that I'm here doing a library science degree, I owe a great debt to him for the things that he taught me and the things that he showed me. And when he passed away, one of the things that I inherited were some of the books that he had in his personal library. I didn't have a lot of room to take a lot of his books at the time, so I just took a handful of his books. And some of them were things that he had had when he was an undergraduate, and some when he did his master's in library science. And and I remember like picking them up, thinking, "This will be great. I can see what he wrote in his margins, how he kept track of what he was reading, some of his thoughts and his insights." And I had all these all this anticipation that there would be something really wonderful hidden in the lines, in the margins. And I cracked them open, and no, he was just like every other undergraduate, just like scribbled down a few notes here and there, and a lot of blanks, a lot of incomplete phrases, a lot of gestures towards something or something that the professor had said that he had jotted down, but not a lot of himself. And I realize, yeah, that's the nature of it. We get only part of the journey that they're on, little bits and pieces, but often, I think about my own reading habits, and to be honest, I store everything in my head. I don't really write notes in margins or inside books very often. There's only certain types of books that I'm in that habit of doing that with. Usually I prefer to mark them up if I have a photocopy of it, and then, or a digital copy, and I can mark that up, as opposed to altering the actual book itself. And so, yeah, maybe my journey through the book also is relatively invisible. So that was one of the things I was thinking about, right? That there are references here. It um, it ends, and there's a number of poems in this unfinished manuscript that have references to Dante's Inferno, and the way it opens up with, he says that midway through life's journey, I found myself lost. The straight road, or he says, I found myself um, lost. The straight road before me, no longer visible. Something to that effect. Various versions of that. But basically, Dante's saying, like, his speaker, which is him, is on this journey, which may or may not be metaphorical. And when he says midway through life's journey, is that, I found myself in a wood, the road before me lost. He's basically saying, either he's saying, I literally was on a journey and I got myself into this woods and I couldn't find the road ahead of me, or he's saying, midway through life's journey, this journey of life, I found myself in a place where everything was obscured and I could not find the way before me. So I was at this weird crossroads in my life, a midlife crisis, so to speak. And so, so Dante's Inferno has a midlife crisis at the start of it. And since I'm like now, undeniably, in my middle age now, because I turned 50 this past year, and so I'm heading into 51. It's like there's no way around it. I am, unless some miracle happens, I live to 120. I'm at my midpoint, and best, most optimistic view, I'm at my midpoint. So I have to accept I am middle of life's journey, and I'm figuring out where I'm going still. So that's kind of what I was thinking about. Yeah. So thanks for hanging out with us. We're going to go and find someone to raid, and we'll pick up this again. I think Thursday night is the plan. We'll see. Okay, so we're looking for other TLD streamers. Iladon is back. Nunia is back. Oh, let's do Nunia. Been a while. Okay, so we're going to go visit our friend Nunia. Thanks for the applause. We're going to head over to Nunia, who is another TLD streamer and doing a challenge run of his own. So we'll head over there. Good night, all. Take care. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to poetry. And we'll be back again probably Thursday. Okay, see you then. Bye.